welcome to our aerial class today. I'm Violet. I'm going to talk about a few things before we get started. The first thing that I want to make you aware of is the material. The material is a raw textile silk. It's going to mold to the body, so it stretches and it contracts. We're going to move through bunched hammock poses, and then we're going to open up the hammock and move through open hammock poses. So you'll get to experience both. When the hammock is bunched, and you apply all of your touch point, your weight into that area, you will feel pressure. So anywhere where you've got lots of lymph and gland, it'll feel more than just like pressure. It might feel like a bite to that area. So I want you to be aware of that. I'll cue you to breathe a lot. That's the best thing you can do, is to breathe through those poses. Also your center line. So the moment you let go of your hammock and step back, it falls to its plumb line. That's its center line. It's always going to want to come back to that center line. So whenever we approach the hammock and move into a pose, we glance up and make sure that we're standing right between those chains along center line, either from the back, the front, the side, depending on the pose, but you want to be right alongside with it. We're going to warm up 3 areas first, and then we can have a little bit of fun. We're going to do some upper body, because there's lots of upper body involved. Core, I want to warm up the core. Hips, I want to open up the hips. And then we can play around a little bit. The benefits are amazing. This is a wonderful practice for your lymphatic system, your endocrine system, your nervous system, your digestive system. You're applying pressure to areas where toxins love to hide out in. So we're going to break up those toxins. They're going to move into the bloodstream. I want you to drink lots of water for the rest of the day. Go to the bathroom often. Flush out all those toxins after class. And I think that's it. So let's start. So let's make sure that we're at the right height. So come behind the hammock, hammock in the front. Fingers through the middle, thumbs to the back, grab a hold of the hammock and start to push down. So glance up, make sure you're standing under your center line. Start pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. So we're going to forward fold over the hammock. So pop the shoulders through the front, so hammock is behind. Push down, hands come to the side. Deep breath in, lift the heart. On the exhale, keeping the hammock nice and low, start to forward fold over your hammock. Come on down, nice and low as you can. Pause for a moment. If it feels good to release the hands at this point, you can. If you want to keep the hands on the hammock, that's fine too. But the goal here is to stretch out the backs of the legs. So if it feels good to rub your calves a little bit, rub the calves a little bit. Maybe rub the hamstrings a little bit. All right, start to warm things up. From here, we're going to gently move into our down dog. So I want you to plant the hands out in front of you, and then at the same time begin to walk the feet back into your downward dog. Now, if the hammock is too high, if it is riding up the abdomen, push the hammock down. Push it down because you want it near the hip flexors. You want it right to where you hinge at the hips. All right? If it goes too high and it goes against the abdomen, it's difficult to breathe. It will hurt. If you can get it a little bit lower, right under those hip flexors, that's the spot. Pause here for a moment. So in your downward dog, I want palms flat. Keep pushing down through the palms of the hands. Keep pushing out through the armpits, open up through the armpits. Settle into your dog. And now take a deep breath in. On the exhale, float the right leg up. 3-legged dog. Kick up that heel nice and high. Keep moving the breath, because here's that pressure that we talked about at the beginning of class. Nice work. Inhale, lower the right leg. Deep breath in. On the exhale, left leg floats up. 3-legged dog on the other side. Same thing. Reach up nice and high through that heel. Notice if one side is a little bit easier than the other side, right? With hips, typically one side will be friendlier. Deep breath in. This time on the exhale, bend that left knee and draw it up to your chest. So now you're at a runner's lunge. Keep the hands down. Keep moving the breath. And then exhale, lower the left leg, bend the right knee, bring the right knee to the chest. Nice work. And now inhale. On the exhale, switch the legs, alternate the feet, but see if you can alternate with the feet in the air. All right, take a deep breath in, exhale, alternate the feet again. Here's where you'll really notice if that hammock is in the wrong spot. Nice work. Now, maybe both knees come up to the chest. Maybe. If it feels good to keep one foot down, keep one foot down. If you can bring both knees to the chest, that's fine. So, Carolyn, I want you to push the hammock out and away. That's right, open up to the armpits, but keep the knees up. I promise I won't let you fall. Ready? Put the hands and then walk the hands to the front of the mat a little bit more. That's it, that's it. But knees stay to the chest. Knees stay to the chest. And then push, open up through the armpits. That's it, right there. Feel how it catches you right in the, that's it. Keep the knees tucked in, because if you straighten the legs, that's when you pop out. But if knees are tucked into the chest, you can pause here. Breathe, right? Keep moving the breath. There's that pressure again. So come back to the breath, breathe through it. If at any point you need to come out of a pose because it's too much, by all means come out. Don't wait for me. But if this is okay, maybe knees tucked in super duper tight, one hand to one knee. Maybe other hand to other knee. You don't have to move into cannonball. You can stay exactly where you are. But if you feel like cannonball can come into your practice today, that's an alternative. Otherwise, stay where you are. Keep moving the breath. The goal is to apply a little pressure right to those hip flexors. So, one more inhale. On the exhale, lower the hands if they're up. Lower one foot, lower the other foot. Come back to dog. Pause in dog for a moment. See, now dog is easy compared to cannonball. Right? And then from here, deep breath in. On the exhale, walk the feet to the hands, hands to the feet. Come back to your forward fold. And relax in forward fold for a few moments. Notice if you're deeper in your forward fold, which you should be, right? Because we just stretched out the hamstrings a little bit. Inhale. On the exhale, bending the knees, roll up nice and slow, one vertebra at a time, articulate the spine, come all the way back up to standing. Nice work. So from here, let's come in front of the hammock, hammock behind. So what I want you to do is facing the mirror, go ahead and put your hammock on like a backpack. So one arm comes through, other arm comes through. Perfect. The hammock that's in the back, I want you to bring that to the lower part of the shoulder blades and then walk to the back of your mats. Yeah. And then you can hold on to the hammock and then ready, shift your weight and relax into the hammock. So this is your upper back touch point, right? So for women, typically right about where the bra strap is, that's the lower part of your shoulder blades. It's kind of where you want the hammock, right? And this should feel kind of nice. It's like a deep tissue massage, a deep tissue massage to your shoulder blades. So from here, we can heel toe the feet out a little bit so you're nice and stable and secure. And you can release everything, just drape everything back into that hammock. If this does not feel good on the back of your neck, you can bend the elbows, intertwine fingers behind the head, and give your neck some support. If it feels good to sway a little bit side to side, maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. This pose is also a very grounding pose. If at any point you need to stop, reconnect with the breath, if you've been inverted for a really long time and you pop up, this is a pose that you can come to. You can relax here for a moment. Let the brain reacclimate to being upright if you just came out of an inversion, right? Avoid the head rush. And then when you're ready, grabbing a hold of the hammock, let's walk the feet back to center line, but keep your body at that straight backboard incline, right? So walk the feet back to center line, right there, and then keep the body, straighten out the legs. Yeah. Pause here for a moment, right? Breathe. Let's try this. Let's release the hands and start to bring everything up and over and start to reach for the back of the studio. So give yourself a nice big stretch. Deep arch in the spine. Deep inhale. On the exhale, grab a hold of the hammocks. Bend the knees and come all the way forward into your flying ski jump, your flying plank pose. Keep the body straight, straight, straight. Here's where the hips kind of want to come forward. Keep the body straight as the board. And then bending the knees, go all the way back. Inhale when you come back. On the exhale, come all the way forward into your ski jump. So you can move with the breath here. If it feels good to release the hammock with the hands, you can. If it feels better to hold on, you can hold on. Bending the knees, go all the way back. One more. Inhale when you reach behind. Exhale when you come forward. And now from your ski jump, just hinge at the hips and start to walk everything back to center line and let the arms just kind of hang there for a moment. Maybe sway a little bit side to side. This is a wonderful lymphatic release in the armpits, right? A little bit less painful than ski jump as well. And then come back to center line, grab a hold of your hammock, bend the knees, take a seat. So I want you to come into a modified chair pose. Now, I want you to adjust your chair. What typically happens in chair pose is the hammock rides all the way up into the armpits, right? Keep it nice and low. Bring it back to the lower part of the shoulder blades again, right? Adjust. Come back to center line. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, let's extend right leg. Point, flex, extension, flexion, extension, flexion. Maybe roll out that right ankle a little bit. And then ready? Deep flexion in the ankle, bending the knee. Ankle goes to opposite knee. Start to drop open that right knee and that right hip. So what we want here is for gravity to do the job, right? Never push down on the knee. Let gravity do the work, right? Pause, come back to your breath. See if that hip can open up a little bit more. Nice work. Deep breath in. On the exhale, extend that right leg. Bend the knee, lower it down. Let's do the other side. Left leg extends. Point the toes, flex, point, flex, extension, flexion, extension, flexion. And then flexing that ankle, bend that knee. Left ankle goes to right knee. Drop open the left hip. And now notice, is one side easier? Because again, with hips, typically, you will have a friendlier side, a side that is a little less angry. One more inhale. Exhale, extend that left leg. Lower the foot. So let's start to heel toe. Well, actually, before we go there, let's do this. Holding on, adjusting the hammock, making sure that it's still on the lower part of the shoulder blade. We're going to swing. So we're going to bring knees up into the air. We're going to start swing. So I want you to hold on to the hammock while we do it. So maybe take a little baby step back. When you're ready, holding on, bring one knee up to the chest, bring the other knee up to the chest, and give yourself a swing. See how it feels. See what happens, right? And there's the core. Right? That is a quick, fast way to ignite those core muscles. Because you'll feel it immediately, right? And that's what we want. We want to engage the core. Now, this is also a wonderful conditioning tool because you can do a million things here, right? You can start to begin to challenge yourself. So maybe if you're counting seconds, give yourself a couple extra seconds in the sky, right? If you're counting swings, maybe give yourself an extra swing, right? If you really want to start to challenge yourself, start incorporating the legs. Maybe extend one leg while you're swinging, right? Maybe extend both legs while you're swinging, right? So I'm asking you to challenge yourself, see what happens. Take that little baby step back, and when you start to swing, try something, see what happens, right? If it feels good to just bring knees up to the chest and to give yourself some seconds, a few seconds, go for it. But remember to breathe. Because this is where everyone typically sucks all the air out of the room and holds it. So remember to breathe while moving through this pose. Keep moving the breath. Nice work. See? I mean, it's, you know, it's beach season. It's Florida. So your abs and your obliques will thank me for that. And then shake out the hands, because you'll start to feel that tingly sensation in the hands from all the gripping, right? So remember to shake out the hands, pause for a moment, shake them out. Nice work. Now, bending the knees, come back to center line. And let's move through some lunges. So now, I want you to heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Go nice and wide. And let's start with a straight leg. So now, point the toes and then flex. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Let's move through some lunges, right? So let's do a right leg lunge first. That means left toes are going to hook. Hips start to square towards the Pilates room. We're going to come up onto the toes behind us. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to lower down to a nice deep, deep lunge, right? You've got the hammock to support you. Breathe. Right, keep moving the breath. If it feels like you can lift your back knee, go for it. Stay where you are. If you want a little bit more, you can extend that right leg. One more inhale. On the exhale, come back through center. We have another side to enjoy. Deep breath in. On the exhale, hook the right toes, send the right leg behind you, square everything towards the parking lot. Come into that nice, low, deep lunge first. This is a wonderful way to get into a very deep lunge. I know if I were to go this low without the hammock, I wouldn't be able to get out. I'd have to roll out of it, right? If you want a little more, here's where you can extend the left leg. Or stay where you are, keep moving the breath. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Pause for a moment, maybe shake out the hands. And then when you're ready, heel, toe, everyone back together. Nice. All right, well, let's warm up the upper body a little bit. So grabbing a hold of the hammock, come on up to standing. So the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to pull ourselves up to the sky, right? So basic wrist strap. Hands come in front of the hammock to heart center. Fingers come through, back around. There's your basic wrist strap, right? So let's reach up nice and high. Perfect. So what we're going to do is jump up into our hands. So I want you to use your legs, right? I mean, if it's in your practice to just pull yourself up, just your upper body, by all means, go right ahead. But here, you can use your legs to jump up into your hands. But I want you to take a deep inhale first and then move on the exhale, right? So the goal is to pull up, maybe hands come right in front of the shoulders, chicken wings in, elbows down, maybe knees come up to the chest, maybe. You see where you go with this pose, right? Obviously, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it will become. But like I said, you've got legs, you're standing, use your legs to jump up into the sky. Why not, right? But move on the exhale. So start in center line, always glance up, make sure you're in center line, holding on to the hammock. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come on up. Jump up, come on down. Nice. And there's the upper body. What I want is to ignite your upper body. So you should feel that. Everything from the waist up should ignite, right? So let's do 2 more, right? Start, make sure you're back in center line. Gripping tight. Taking a deep breath in, moving on the exhale. On the exhale, come on up. Go wherever you go with this pose. All right, start to warm up that upper body. All right, last one. Make it your best. Hold on tight and move on the exhale. Deep breath in, exhale, go for it. See where you go. Nice work. That's how we do it. So now let's try this grip. Let's bring the hands down and let's bring hands right in front of shoulders, right? And I want shoulders down. And I want you to lift up through the crown. So we're going to bring the spine back into neutral. So what I want to do here is build your architecture, right? So hands in front, Chicken wings in, elbows down, shoulders down, lifting up through the crown. Spine is in neutral, so we want to hold on to the integrity of the spine. So everything from the waist up stays put, doesn't move. Waist down. Deep breath in. On the exhale, bend one knee, bend the other knee. See if you can continue to hold this architecture in the sky for a hot second or two. Right? Deep breath in. Exhale, go for it. Bend one knee, bend the other knee, hang. That's it. And then breathe. Remember to breathe while doing it. Nice work. Come on out. If you need to unwrap the hands, shake them out a little bit, shake them out. I know it's a lot of gripping. Nice. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll leave the upper body alone for a little bit. Hands back to heart center, fingers through and around, grab a hold. This time, I want you to grab a hold just above the head. So what I want to see is a 90-degree angle with the arm and the side body. I want you to bring a 90-degree bend in your elbow. And I want forearms at shoulder width distance, right? So what I don't want to see is this. I don't want the elbows to splay. I don't want them to come together either. I want everything to stay put. So lower the shoulders away from the ears. Keep lifting up through the crown. Grip. So waist up, this stays put. This architecture doesn't change. Waist down. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend one knee, bend the other knee. See if you can hang like this for a hot second, right? Whenever you're ready, inhale, exhale, go for it. See what happens. Nice work. Well done, everyone. Easier? Okay, I lied. We're going to do one more. But this one, I think, is definitely the easiest one. So we're going to slide hands back up to nice and high. I'm not going to ask you to jump up. I just want you to grip higher above the head. Now, arms are going to stay straight. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bend one knee, bend the other knee. We're going to hang. But I don't want arms to be completely straight. I want you to have a little bit of a micro bend in the elbow. And I want you to keep lowering the shoulders away from the ears. Lots of times what happens is this. We don't want that to happen. We want everything to stay engaged. Shoulders down, still lifting up through the crown. Everything from the waist up stays put like this. Inhale. Exhale, bend one knee, bend the other knee. See if you can hang like this with straight arms, right? So move when you're ready. Deep breath in, exhale, go. Just for a hot second or two, breathe. How about that one? Easier?
I feel it in the heart.
And the goal is to work the whole complex of all the shoulder muscles, the back muscles. You'll feel it through your pectorals. It's not just your biceps and triceps. It's everything from the waist up, right? And that's what we need. And we want the core to work with our upper body when we do aerial. So shake out the hands a little bit. Shake them out, shake them out. Like I said, let's leave the upper half alone. Let's do the lower half. Let's come to hips. So come behind the hammock, hammock in the front. It's time to open the hammock. So find the edge closest to you. Step back with that edge and fan out your hammock. Open everything up. It does that. It folds in half, and then you don't even realize that you folded it in half. Okay, so now, holding on to just your edges, come back to your center line. And then if you look down, you should see a pool of hammock in front of you, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is put the left foot in the middle of that hammock, right? So holding on to just the edges, pour your weight into the right leg, bend the left. Left foot steps in, right into the middle, where you've got hammock in front of the foot and hammock behind the foot. That's it. You got it, Carolyn. That's it. And then pull that hammock up. So now when the foot is in, extend the left leg, pull the edges all the way up, closest to you, all the way up to the belly of the hamstring. Get the whole left leg in there and get it nice and secure. Nice. All right, so now, glance up. Make sure you're still under your center line. Chances are you probably came out, so maybe take a couple hops forward. Glance down. Notice what the right foot is doing. 9 times out of 10, those right toes are going to come out to the side because they're compensating for tight hamstrings, right? So square everything to the front of the mat. So you got your left leg out front, right toes pointing to the front. Back is straight, right? Lower the shoulders, lift up through the crown. We're going to forward fold into the hammock over our left leg. So taking a deep breath in, on the exhale, hinging at the hips, come into your hammock, hands go to the other side or to the foot. But come all the way into your hammock. That's it. You got it. Pause, breathe. Now I want back straight and I want legs straight as best as you can. This is a pose where the back always wants to round and collapse. Try not to let it. Try to keep it straight, hinging just at the hips. Stop when you feel like you're about to lose the integrity of the spine and just stay there. Move the breath. Breathe into that left hamstring. Encourage it to stretch. Send it loving thoughts with every inhale and every exhale. One more inhale. On the exhale, rise up, come back up to standing. Edges closest to you. Put them both into the left hand. Right hand to the hip. Pull your hammock up a little bit higher, Carolyn. Get it all the way up, like close to the groin. Yes, yes, yes. And then hold on to both those edges. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, send the leg out to the side. Draw it back in. Bring it out. Draw it back in. And move with the breath. All right, keep moving with the breath. Knee to nose is an advanced level yoga pose, right? But with the hammock, you can practice it on a beginner level. Holding on to the toes and bringing the leg out, drawing it back in, also an advanced level pose. But again, with the hammock support, you can bring it to a beginner level. This is a wonderful rotation in that hip socket. In this socket or joint of a body, you're releasing synovial fluids to that area, which lubricates the area. So that helps with inflammation and increases mobility, flexibility. And then when you're ready, bring the leg out, hold. Right arm extends. Deep breath in. On the exhale, side body stretch on the right, crunch it in on the left. See if you can bring the right arm up and over and grab a hold of the hammock over the head. So we're moving into a modified gate pose. Right? Try to keep that right elbow nice and high. The back's going to want to round and collapse. Try not to let it. Maybe even look up and out from under that right armpit. One more inhale. On the exhale, come on out. Okay, ready? Bring that left leg back to the front. Edges closest to you. Pull them up and around that whole left glute. Get the whole butt cheek in. It's like putting on pants on just one leg. Right? So make sure that butt cheek is in because we're going to sit on that butt cheek. So we want it to be in the hammock. Now we're going to move into a standing pigeon pose. So knee bends. Knee goes towards the parking lot, sole of the foot goes towards the Pilates room. And you're going to have a lot of hammock out in front of you. So now body comes through the middle of the hammocks, separate the hammocks, bring the body through, push the hammocks behind your armpits, and you can lean forward over your leg. Make sure that butt cheek is in. When you're ready, take a seat. Pour your weight into it. Now, this is deep, deep flexion in that knee. So if you're feeling any kind of tension, flex that left ankle. Right? With the hammock, sometimes you can get caught in there and it will sickle the wrong way. So if you need to come out and adjust your ankle, come out, adjust your ankle. If it feels better flexed, flex the ankle. Nice work. And then yes, push off, kick off. Fly, little birdies, fly. Get a little bit of air. This is our flying pigeon, right? So it's like pigeon on the floor. I feel like pigeon in the air is a little bit nicer. You don't have to deal with a hard floor. This, you're wrapped in silk. If you want a little bit of extra, you can reach back with that right hand, grab the right ankle if you like, pull that right foot back, then you'll get a quad stretch on that opposite leg. That might feel nice. If you want a little more, you can reach up with the left hand and catch the edge of that hammock. Nice. It's a very meditative pose. It is definitely a yin style pose, pigeon. But it's also very hard for lots of people. That's why it's typically introduced at the end of class after people have warmed up. But with the silk, you can move into the pose and stay in it a lot longer. Allow that yin tissue to activate. The other variation is to bring the right leg forward to catch it low in front and then pull it up to the other foot. So what you're moving into is a half lotus, but stay in front, just get it under your armpits, behind your, yes. Keep the hammock behind the armpits. If they get out from under the armpits and they get out in front of you, guess what could happen? You could keep going backwards. So keep everything behind the armpits. And then notice how this pose feels. Again, an advanced level pose, right? But with the hammock, because the hips are in the air, it might become more accessible. Move the breath. Nice work. All right, so when you're ready, lower that right leg. And begin to pour your weight back into that right leg. Start to rise up. Catch the edges with your hands and come back up to standing. So now what we're going to do is extend that left leg all the way. Pull the leg out, so take your pant leg off. Adjust your yoga pants. Let's do the right leg. So finding that edge closest to you again, step back, fan it out, open up the hammock again. And then holding on to just the edges, come back to your center line. So now you know where we're going, right? We're going to do the other side. So pour the weight into the left leg, and then when you're ready, pop the right leg in. Step the right foot right in the middle of the hammock. So you have hammock behind you, hammock in front of that foot, and behind the foot. And then when you're ready, extend the leg, grab those edges and pull them all the way up to the belly of the hamstring so the whole leg is nice and secure. Glance up. Make sure you're still in your center line. If you've stepped out of it, hold on to your edges, take a couple hops forward. Glance down. Notice what the left toes are doing, right? Same thing. You want to build your architecture from the ground up. Make sure left toes are pointing to the front. So hips are squared forward. Toes are pointing to the front. Shoulders are squared forward. Deep breath in, lower the shoulders away from the ears. On the exhale, here we go. Forward fold, hinging at the hips over that right leg. So body comes into the hammock, hands go to the opposite edge or the foot. Try to make the hinge happen just in the hips. Try to keep back straight, legs straight as best as you can. And move the breath. Breathe. Notice if this side is easier, right? This might be the easier side. This may not be the easier side, right? Try to keep that back straight. Try to make the hinge happen just in the hips. Keep moving the breath. One more deep inhale. Exhale, slowly rise up, rise back up. Grab both of those edges closest to you. Put them in the left hand, right hand. Put them in the right hand, left hand to the hip. And then when you're ready, bring the leg out to the side. And then draw it back in. Bring it out. Draw it back in. Bring it out. Draw it back in. Move with the breath, right? Bring it out. Draw it back in. Bring it out. Hold. Extend the opposite arm. Deep breath in. On the exhale, side body stretch on the left, crunch it in on the right. Left arm comes up and over, grabs the hammock over the head. Try to keep that shoulder nice and high. Maybe look up and out from under that armpit. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly come out of your gate pose. Nice. All right, so flying pigeon. Leg comes back to the front. Edges closest to you, up and around that whole glute. So make sure the whole butt cheek is in. And then when you're ready, knee bends. This time knee goes towards the Pilates room, sole of the foot goes towards the parking lot. Body comes through the middle. Push the hammock behind the armpits. That's what will keep you nice and secure. Make sure that right glute is in. When you're ready, bend the left knee, take a seat. And here we go. pigeon on the right leg, right? Notice if this hip is a little bit more open. Notice how this knee feels in comparison to the other knee. Same thing with the ankle. If you're feeling tension in the knee, flex the ankle. If the ankle doesn't feel good and it might be starting to sickle in the hammock, come out, adjust. Come into a variance of pigeon that you can stay in and relax in for a few moments. Because again, it's a yin style pose. You want to be able to move into it and enjoy it. Reap its benefits. If you like, reach behind with the left hand, grab the ankle, and maybe get that quad stretch in the left leg. If it feels good to reach up with the right hand and catch the edge, go right ahead. Breathe. Keep moving the breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, maybe release that leg behind you, bring it forward, catch it in the front, bring it up to join the opposite leg, come into that half lotus pose. Or flying Buddha, whatever you want to call it. But you all look like you're levitating. Right? Keep moving the breath. Easier side? Or is this the side that doesn't want to play, right? Notice, breathe into that space in that hip. One more inhale. Exhale, lower that left leg. And start to pour your weight back into that left leg. Start to straighten, rise up, catch your edges. And then when you're ready, extend the right leg. Bring the right leg all the way out. Take your pant leg off. And same thing, adjust your yoga pants. I feel like you need to. Yes, grab a sip of water. And then from here, let's move into some inversions. So before we do that, I'd like you to stand up in the hammock. So let's come back to a bunched hammock pose, and we're going to stand up in the hammock. So hammock in the front. Make sure you're under your center line. Which leg do we just have in that hammock? Right? So let's come back to the left. Pour the weight into the right, bend the left. Left foot steps in. I want ball of the foot in the front, heel in the back. So I want the hammock to come right into the middle, into that arch. Right? Which is, incidentally, the most painful part of the foot, but is also the safest. You want it to slip into that little valley. Make sure you're standing under your center line. Start to pour a little weight into this leg. Reach up nice and high. Deep breath in. On the exhale, pull up. Stand up. Do not let go. Do not let go. You can adjust, but don't let go. Grip, grip, grip. Nice. And then yes, so let's do this. We've got right leg out there, standing on the left. Let's extend that right leg out front. Maybe point, flex, roll out that ankle a little bit. And then step the foot in, side by side. Breathe. Holding onto the hammock, let's do this. Keeping the right elbow bent, let's push out the hammock with the left hand. Push it out away from you. All right, and then draw it back in. And then switch. Nice. One more round. Perfect. Holding on high, deep breath in. On the exhale, lower down to a squat. Come on down as low as you can go. Inhale. On the exhale, come on back up. Oh yeah, this is an SB favorite. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower down to a squat. One more inhale. Exhale, come on up to standing. Perfect. Okay, so now pour the weight into the right foot. Left foot comes behind. Come all the way down. Step down behind you. Keep that right foot in, because we're going to go back up and do a couple things on the right foot. But I wanted you to give the hands a break for a moment. Standing in the hammock is very different. Right? That anti-gravity kicks in, and you're not on a hard surface anymore. Right? So a lot of that grip strength will kick in automatically. Right? You'll be gripping for dear life. So be sure to come down, shake out the hands, give your hands a break. Right? Now, ready? go up on the right. So reach up nice and high. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull up. Come on up. And this time, left foot comes to the front. Point, flex, roll out that ankle a little bit. Keep on gripping. Step the foot in. So let's come into a rainbow arch. So we're going to slide the hands so they're right around shoulder height. We're going to continue to hold. Hips are going to push forward. We're going to arch the back. We're going to start to dip backwards and then maybe extend the arms as securely as you feel. If it feels like it's too much, you don't have to extend the arms all the way. Nice work, everyone. And then when you're ready, draw yourself back in. Beautiful. So it's not that bad. We're going to do it one more time. Deep breath in. Move on the exhale. On the exhale, it's like you're diving backwards. Continue to hold. Do not let go. Maybe arms extend. Maybe they don't. Come on back up. Nice. All right, we're going to move into a bounded ankle pose, so a Baddha Konasana pose. So what's going to happen is we're going to start to bring soles of the feet together. Knees are going to begin to go wide. But I want knees to go to the outside of the hammock. So I want hammock in the front, knees go behind. Slowly lower yourself down. Make sure soles of the feet come together. That's it. Now, holding on with one hand, bring the other arm through, and then catch that hammock over. And then bring the other shoulder through, catch that hammock above. Pause here, breathe. I know this is tight on the ankles. If you can manage, stay, keep moving the breath. If this is too tight, re-grip the hammock, pull one shoulder out, pull the other shoulder out, pop one leg out behind you, step out of it. But if you can stay here, if you can keep moving the breath, stay, move the breath, right? This is also a yin style pose. Right? And I know that's a deep flexion in the knees, and I know it's a lot of tension in your instep. And then when you're ready, one more inhale. Exhale, bring one shoulder out, catch the hammock in front. Bring the other shoulder out, catch the hammock in front. And then instead of stepping out, extend the legs, come into a variation of bow pose. So hinge at the hips and lower the hips, come down to a V. No one? Someone? That's it. Oh. And then maybe even lower yourself down even more. Or not. There it is. Keep gripping, breathe, and then pop one leg out behind you, step out. Nice. Well done. Nice. There it is. Shake out the hands. That was a lot. I know. Breathe. What's left is our low back inversion. So we're going to move into the inversion, and then we can give ourselves a few moments to relax in that inversion, right? If anyone needs a sip of water, grab a sip of water. If anyone would like some spray for their hands, grab some rosin. Go do whatever you need to do. Otherwise, if you're ready, come in front of the hammock, hammock behind you. Jacket comes back on, right? One arm through, other arm through. I want you to grab the hammock and bring it down to the low part of your back. So, you know the pose that we had earlier? We had it right at the shoulder, lower part of the shoulder blades. That's our upper back touch point. We're going to move into our lower back touch point. So the touch point in lower back should be right around the sacral area. More or less, it should be in this spot. Now, that's not to say that that's going to be the spot for you, right? I never presume to tell people where it's going to hurt and where it's not going to hurt, right? So maybe a little bit lower feels better. Maybe a little bit higher feels better. So here's where you have to play around with it, right? But in that low area versus the upper shoulder blades. Now, when we come out of our inversion, I want you to bring the hammock to your upper touch back point and lean back into it and just relax there for a few moments. Let the brain reacclimate to being upright again. But for now, we're going to bring it to the low. So I want you to grip the hammock, thumbs are in, fingers are out, and hands are right at hip length, hip height, hip side, hip width. You know what I mean. Now I want you to keep the hands there. 9 times out of 10, what will happen is the first time you try the pose, hands will slide up, and then so will the hammock, and then you can't invert that easily. It becomes much harder with the hammock higher. If you can keep the hammock low, your tipping point is at the low part of your upper body. Upper body weighs more than the legs. That will allow the upper body to tip back, legs will pop up. We want that to happen. Now, when the legs pop up, they have to go wide. If you keep your legs together, legs will come right through the middle, and you'll do-si-do right out of your hammock, right? So when the legs go wide, the hammock will catch right in front of the thighs, and that's what we want to happen. Then you can wrap your legs around the front, hook your heels in, thread the ankles. You can relax. You're not going anywhere. You're secure at that point. So let's start by maybe taking a little bit of a wide stance on the mat. So that's the reminder that you've got to go wide the moment the legs go back, right? Keeping the hands low. I'm going to model how I assist you, hon. Keeping the hands low, right? Don't let them slide up. Keep them at the hip height. That will ensure that the hammock stays low, right? So whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, start to pour the weight into that hammock. Start to come back. And then when legs come up, remember wide, 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 wide. That's it, Carolyn. And then hook them in the front. And then go ahead and thread your ankles. And you're in. There's no coming out. Pause for a moment. Breathe, right? Adjust here for a few moments. Release one hand, maybe touch the floor. Release the other hand, maybe touch the floor. Touching the floor might give you a little bit of security and stability, and that's absolutely fine. Go where it feels good to go in this pose. Breathe, right? Keep moving the breath. The inversion in this pose is the benefit, right? Along with bringing the spine back to its natural S-curve. So when you invert like this, you're releasing all that extra weight that you carry. The spine decompresses. It stretches back out to its natural S-curve. And then you start to create the space in between the vertebrae. But on top of that, inversions are very beneficial, right? You're sending freshly reoxygenated blood to your brain, to your face, to your hair follicles, right? The heart doesn't have to work as hard when you're inverted. Pause here for a moment, keep moving the breath. Maybe bring hands behind you, clasp fingers behind. That might feel nice. And then maybe begin to squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you, push the heart forward, and start to extend the arms away from the body. That might also feel nice. That's a very nice shoulder stretch. Really hard to do when you're not inverted. When you're inverted, it becomes a little easier, so you can go deeper into that shoulder stretch. Beautiful. One more inhale. On the exhale, release the hands. Look up at your navel. One hand just above the thigh, in between the knee on one side, other hand on the other side. You got to look up, Carolyn. Look up. Right here. One hand here. Reach a little, yes, bend the knees a little bit more so you can grip. That's it. So holding on nice and tight, unhook the legs, bend the elbows, pull yourself all the way back up. That's it. Bring that touch point to the low part of the shoulder blades and relax back into the hammock. Pause here for a few moments, let the brain reacclimate, because we were down there for a few minutes. The other benefits with the hammock is that you can invert, move through an inversion, and stay in it for much longer than a regular yoga class. Typically in a regular yoga class, some of your basic inversions like a forward fold, downward dog, yeah, you can stay in them for a little bit longer. But the more advanced, the handstands, right, the shoulder stands, the forearm stands, the headstands, and typically you're only in there for a little bit before you have to come out. Advanced students, yes, can spend lots of time in them. My master teacher spends 20 minutes a day in a headstand. With the hammock, it's much more possible for those of us that can't access our regular handstand, headstand, whichever inversion you're thinking about doing. The hammock will allow you, because it supports all of your weight. You can relax there, you can close your eyes, you can float away, you can meditate. If you'd like to move into it again, come into it again, right? So grab a hold, Make sure hammock's on the low point of the back of your touch point. Now that you've done it a couple times, here's where you can play around with the placement of the hammock. So if you find that a little bit higher feels more secure, then go a little bit higher. If you feel like a little bit lower is less painful, go a little bit lower. Go where it feels good. But always keep the hands low. Start by stepping the legs wide. And when you're ready, deep breath in. On the exhale, come back, legs come up, legs go wide, come on into it. That's it. Nice work. And then release one hand, bring it down to the mat. Release the other hand, bring it down to the mat. Pause, go where you like in this pose. Go where it feels good. Go where the body is telling you to go. Keep moving the breath. Allow a little time for the spine to decompress. And then one more inhale. On the exhale, when you're ready, come on back up. So remember to look up at your navel. Go for the hammock in between the legs. A little bit higher, that's it, hon. Unhook one leg, unhook the other leg, bend your elbows, pull up, and come right into your upper back touch point. Relax for a few moments. Shake out the hands. How does everyone feel?
Good. Great. Yeah. Very good.
So let's move into open hammock and let's come to our Shavasana. So when you're ready, come on up. Come behind the hammock, hammock in the front. Find that edge again closest to you. Step back with that edge, fan open your hammock. And then holding on to the edge, come back to your center line. And what I want you to do is just put one knee into the hammock. It doesn't matter which, but just the knee comes in, the foot hangs out. Yeah. Now bring your body through the middle, find the edge on the opposite side of the hammock. And then bring your arms out nice and straight. And when you're ready, fly into it just like Superman. Go. That's it. So pause here for a moment. Pause on your stomach, because what you've moved into is a modified variation of a locust pose in a lot of ways, right? Locust pose can be very difficult on the floor because you are on your abdomen while lifting everything else up into the air. It's very hard to breathe for lots of people. But in the hammock, the abdomen is free. You can take nice deep breaths in without any kind of obstruction. So pause for a moment. And then when you're ready, bend the elbows and pop up onto your elbows. Come into a modified Sphinx variation. Pause here for a second. And now, flip onto your backs. And there's nothing graceful about it. You just got to wiggle and shimmy. Come on to your backs. If you bump into your neighbor, say you're sorry. Keep going. You can leave your feet out of the hammock if you like, or you can hook a heel, catch the edge, push it down, and bring both feet into the hammock. Make sure that the hammock behind you is up and over your head, so you've got plenty of support on the back of the neck. Hands can come up and over the head and just hang out over your head outside of the hammock. That might feel nice. Or maybe you can crisscross your arms over your chest in the hammock. That might also feel nice. If you like, you can also let the hammock come to the backs of the knees and let the feet just dangle down. That might also feel really good. Would anyone like a little push? Okay. So, no pushes. I'm going to stop you. There. Kellen, would you like a push? Okay. So start to soften, soften, soften. Soften the ankles, because that will help soften the hips. Soften the wrists. That'll help soften the shoulders. Kelly, you want to push?
Sure.
Soften that little muscle that's between the eyebrows that loves to scrunch together because it thinks it's helping you. It's not. Let that muscle go. You want to push, Stacy?
Sure. Feels like you're flying.
Yeah. Soften the jaw. Soften the throat. Would you like a push, hon?
Sure.
Okay. Even you out. And then soften the space all around the heart. Let go of the breath. Let go of everything. And just float away for a few moments. Honor your body for everything it just did for you.